Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy CV with another reaction video, and this one is on making the case Irving Magic Johnson. We did Larry Bird, Tim Duncan. This is our third one. And shout outs to Clayton, who makes these awesome videos, man. Let's see if we can get this to 100 likes if we can. Appreciate you guys. Let's get into it, man. Irving Magic Johnson as one of the GOATs. Let's make that case. Let's go.
Basketball is special.
Ooh, that's
the size
loud.
of the court and the lack of pads or helmets give fans the most intimate experience of a team sport that exists. And because of the different
Love that
styles
scene
that
with Reggie.
basketball allows for, players develop their own distinct identities and signature styles through their creativity, flair,
Pete!
and athleticism.
Hey, Pete?
And although no player succeeds
One of the
alone,
greatest basketball
scoring
player who's
volume
ever
and
lived
nature
and
of
does
the
not
sport
get
give
love.
Individual stars a nearly unprecedented amount of control over the flow and outcome.
I remember
of the
that game.
For this reason, players are constantly compared to their peers and to the legends of the past in order to answer the most hotly contested question in the sport. Who's the greatest to ever do it? For many,
Irving.
the question is redundant. They believe in only one right answer. Their answer.
I'm going to tell you right now with Irving, I bet you the numbers will not go through the roof. I'm sure people who watched him live would tell you a whole different story how good Magic was. So
Others might have their own personal stance, but acknowledge one or two alternatives.
Let's go.
But I believe that there's much more nuance to the question of greatness and more answers to
Bill
it.
Russell, we're going to do that
By my
next.
count, there are
Bill
8
Russell.
players in NBA history that have a substantial claim as the GOAT. It's a subjective thing, though. I can't give you a definitive answer. All I can do is
One of the
make
greatest
argument.
block shots ever.
So today,
And one of the
I'll be
greatest
making the
shot ever.
case for Magic Johnson as the greatest basketball player of all time.
There's a lot about Magic that I don't know, so hopefully we learn something different here today, man. Showtime. Strap in.
The year is 1979. Professional basketball in America is at perhaps the lowest point in its history. No one is going to games. The ratings are garbage. None of the players are very marketable.
I know
and
where
the
this is
product
going.
so bad that
Bird and
CBS
Magic.
isn't bothering to air playoff games live. Things look bad. Enter Irvin Johnson. Johnson bested Larry Bird's undefeated Indiana State Sycamores in the 1979 NCAA Championship, an event that retains the highest TV rating of a game of basketball ever.
I forgot about that. This would be part of this video. What Magic did to the game and Larry Bird, combined, those two guys, the rivalry that they made, but changed the NBA. And it's crazy that a college game is still one of the highest rating basketball games ever still. So, yeah, I mean, that's a big deal. That's a big thing. I mean, you got to give Magic that. So, but let's just continue. We'll see, man. I forgot about this part.
When the Lakers used their #1 overall pick to make Johnson the first underclassman ever to be taken as the top draft choice, you have to wonder if they knew exactly who they just drafted. How could they have known that they had just drafted a player that would become an icon for their franchise, for their city, and for a generation of basketball history? They didn't draft Irvin Johnson, the prospect from Michigan State. They drafted Magic. Right off the bat. For whatever it's worth, Magic Johnson has the coolest nickname in NBA history. It fits him to a T and is really the name that everyone knows him by.
It's just so smooth,
it's
man.
not like his last name is superfluous, like with Kobe, LeBron, or Kareem. And it's not like his last name is eternally iconic, like Russell, Jordan, or Duncan. It's just
Magic.
Magic.
Yeah, that's so true.
Johnson
Good
came
point.
into the NBA and immediately injected it with life like he was an epinephrine pen. Magic's winning smile,
Really, Clayton? Clayton is shooting right now, man.
charismatic interviews, and revolutionary play style introduced the league to a pulse and a personality it hadn't known since Wilt
That
Chamberlain.
1 foot shot.
Before long, he became the frontman of a team that would be known by its own distinct nickname, Showtime, like it was a piece of theater or art in and of itself.
Come on, what are we talking? See that pass?
Like it was a piece of
Look at this. The defense is not even ready. Look at the defense. They're just like, all right, guys, get
theater
your guys.
or art in and of itself. He was the lead man of the most popular show in Hollywood.
That's beautiful,
In a city
man.
full of celebrities, he was the main attraction.
Ooh,
Not only did he
the
have the
tap.
smile and personality to carry a name like Magic, but he also had the basketball aptitude to pull off a team personality to carry a name
Hey,
like
man.
Magic.
Look
but
at
he
this
also
hop.
had the
Man, You gotta love Magic,
basketball
man.
aptitude to pull off a team called Showtime. What
You
did he
gotta
do
love
with that
Magic.
aptitude?
Oh, let's look at this really quick, man. 5 championships. I didn't know it was 5. I'm being honest. I didn't know it was 5 championships. 3 regular season MVPs. Okay, hold on a second. 3 finals MVP. Did not know that. 12 All-Star selection. I knew that. And the All-Star, I knew. Wait a second. If Tim Duncan... Okay. I will say this. I did not know it was 5 championships. I didn't know he won 3 regular season MVPs. Because with Bird, the thing is, he was second place every 3 years in a row, whatever. But this is looking crazy. 5 championships? I did not know that. Does Magic have a statue outside Lakers Stadium? I can't recall. He must, right? I think he does. Doing the hook, like a hook shot, I think he does. Okay. 5 championships, 3. Wow.
Won 5 championships, a half decade's worth, and appeared in 9 finals. Only Kareem, Bill Russell, and
this is
Steve
shocking
Jones
to me.
appeared in more. He won 3 regular season MVPs in a span of 4 years, won 3 finals MVPs, made 12 All-Star.
In the span of 4 years? Larry Bird fan kills me because I didn't know he was what was it? 3 years in a row? He got 3 in a row? Let's go back.
Won 3 finals MVPs, made 12 All-Star teams, and was selected to 10 All-NBA teams. And keep in mind that all of these accomplishments took place in a 12-year career, 11 if you want to mention his injury-shortened.
I thought we gave a Bird a pass because he got injured, and that's the reason he only played 11 seasons. Well, so did Magic. These numbers are looking spooky, but I think the individual numbers as far as points, assists, and score, I think that's where the difference is. But
81 season.
This is crazy.
Magic only spent 3 years of his playing career watching the finals from home. I spent more years trying to graduate from college than Magic spent not making the finals.
I need to hear that again.
Magic only spent 3 years of his playing career watching the finals from home. I spent more years trying to graduate from college than
3 years he didn't make
not
it.
making the finals.
Bro.
His HIV diagnosis came right.
But wait, when LeBron goes 30 years in a row, it's a problem, man. I'm just saying.
Right on the heels of a season in which he finished as the runner-up for league MVP, was selected to first-team All-NBA, and competed in the NBA Finals. It is not hyperbole or exaggeration to say that Magic's career was cut short while he was still 90% as good as he'd ever been. Those 12 years were enough of a basketball pedigree, though, that even now, some 30 years later, he is still universally considered the greatest point guard of all time.
Beautiful.
A fact made both impressive and unfortunate, considering how much more he had to give.
He's a point guard at 6'30".
Still, Magic's career stacks up against anyone else with a claim to basketball's highest throne. And the legend surrounding Magic Johnson is rooted in the undeniable truth that Magic Johnson is the best passer in the history of basketball.
So he's considered a point guard, right? Is he the tallest point guard to ever play the NBA? I think Scottie Pippen was sort of like a point forward. You know? Even LeBron, they say he's like a point forward type of thing. But because Magic loved passing, so he was, I don't want to say he was a pure point guard, just passing. He wasn't like a Chris Paul or a Stockton type of point guard, but yeah, he might have been the tallest point guard ever, right? I can't think of anybody else that played point that was that tall and with handles and that vision.
In his hand, he was no longer a basketball player. He became a force of nature. His movements became sublime and fluid. These passes aren't coming from Magic. I refuse to believe that any human could do this kind of stuff so routinely without divine intervention.
Does Magic
These
fit?
Passes are coming from the basketball gods, and Magic Johnson became their instrument. To convince you, I shouldn't need to show you anything other than his ability, but the stats bear it out. Magic has the highest assist per game average ever, and also has the most assists in NBA playoff history. Magic's skills extended beyond just passing, though. Too big to be guarded by traditional point guards and too quick to be guarded by slow-footed forwards, he created matchup problems every time he brought the ball across midcourt. His speed with the ball was unrivaled. problems every time he brought the ball across midcourt.
Danny Ainge!
He created matchup
look at
problems
Danny
every
Ainge.
time
I'm
he
sorry.
brought the ball
Hey,
across.
I'm a Boston Celtics fan, but look at Danny Ainge. That's Danny Ainge right there, number 44. You think I don't see you, Danny?
Midcourt. His speed with the ball was unrivaled, and accompanied with his remarkable rebounding proficiency, was a key feature in the Lakers' fast break offense. He was adept at finishing with either hand.
Bro!
He did often think fast break
Stop!
offense. He was adept.
Whoop! Cross them to the right.
At finishing
behind the back.
With either hand.
No look.
Something he did often think.
No, I don't give a damn. We're watching that again.
He was
skirt
at finishing with,
skirt
with either hand. Something
skirt. Bro, come on, man. Showtime.
He did often thanks to his underrated first step.
Wow.
Years of practice by himself and with Kareem helped Magic develop a high post game that added yet another dimension to his offensive skill set.
Yeah, I feel like he had a hook.
Picking his opponent's pockets, leading the league in steals per game twice.
Wow.
This skill set is made even more impressive when you remember that Magic was the same height as Karl Malone.
That's what I'm saying.
My favorite thing about Magic.
Yeah.
He was a true, authentic point guard who happened to be 6'9".
Bro, that's crazy.
It wasn't like with Tim Duncan, who played power forward but people say was actually a center, or how James Harden is listed at shooting guard even though he plays more like a point guard.
That's different.
Was an honest-to-God point guard who could also play every position on the basketball court. As an individual defender, Magic was capable, never a lockdown guy, but he was as versatile and as switchable as they come. And with such solid rebounding numbers, there were no holes in Magic Johnson's offensive game. When I say that Magic immediately began making an impact on the NBA, I do mean immediately. His rookie year is still one of the most successful campaigns a first-year player has ever had. He took over the job as starting point guard and helped guide the Lakers to 60 wins and a berth in the NBA Finals, where the Lakers faced Julius Erving's Philadelphia 76ers. The series was competitive throughout, with
and Jay is not part of this conversation.
10 points
Jay, Kobe, or Shaq.
5 games.
Oh, Hakeem.
In Game 5, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the reigning league MVP and the Lakers' best player, badly sprained his ankle. Kareem was able to return and will his team to a 5-point victory, putting the Lakers ahead in the series 3-2. With only one more win needed to clinch the title, Kareem was ruled unavailable for Game 6 in Philadelphia. Magic was then called upon to start the game at center and try to replace Kareem's 33-point-per-game average in the series. Magic answered that call and delivered one of the most memorable basketball performances by any player
1980.
ever.
I wasn't even born.
42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and a block, all as a 20-year-old rookie playing on the road on basketball's highest block.
A rookie?
12 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and a block, all as a 20-year-old rookie playing on the road on basketball's
Look like
highest
LeBron numbers right there, I'm saying.
For his efforts, Magic was named Finals MVP, the first and only rookie to win the award.
40, 15, and 7.
In
That
the years
is
that followed,
that's a
Magic's
rookie.
basketball journey would be inextricably linked to that of Larry Bird. It's nearly impossible to talk about one without mentioning the other.
Facts.
In my Making the Case video for Larry Bird, I brought up arguments that could be used in favor of Bird's superiority. And because this is a video about Magic's claim of supremacy, I figure I ought to do the same for him.
Facts.
You first have to give credit to Magic for being the most decorated player during perhaps the most talent-laden period the NBA has ever seen. Including his finals opponents, Magic faced competition like Olajuwon and Sampson's Rockets, Tom Chambers' Suns, Mark Aguirre's Mavs, Isaiah Thomas's Pistons, Moses Malone and Dr. J's 76ers, Michael Jordan's Bulls, and Bird's Celtics. Magic's detractors might try to devalue his team's success by
Man, it feels good when you hear like Bird, Celtics, Magic, Lakers. Like when you hear that back in the day, it just sounded good, man. Like what game was it? Double Dribble? Oh, Double Dribble was so good. You youngins, young bucks. If you don't know what that is, that was actually a console game, man. It was actually was good. I think they had Blazers versus somebody. I can't remember. That one was good too. Blazers versus someone, I think. I know it was a Blazer, but yeah, man, those games was great back in the day.
Pointing out that he played for a remarkably talented team thanks to a brilliant front office. Because of his team's talents, these detractors say, Magic can't be individually credited for their success. In the interest of making Magic's case, though, I first acknowledge that yes, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the best basketball player in the world for nearly the entire 1970s and had already led a team in Milwaukee to a championship by the time
Boston was stacked. Okay, Boston was stacked. Jordan had players. The Phoenix Suns, not so much. But you still got to give him credit, man. I don't like when, because people do it to LeBron James, because I'm a LeBron James fan. Oh, he has this, and that. But you got to have some good players. I don't care how good you are. You got to have good players. Michael Jordan had good players. Larry Bird had good players. Not only good players, Hall of Famers. So I can't hold that against Magic. No.
Magic arrived in LA.
No. I'm not.
James Worthy was one of the most polished and accomplished prospects to come out of college basketball in
Scottie Pippen right there.
And that's not to mention other pivotal role players like Michael Cooper, Kurt Rambis, and Byron Scott, who all played outstanding basketball. I acknowledge all of that, but I'd argue that the greatness of the Showtime Lakers does not take anything away from Magic's abilities as a
I don't think it does.
Or as a leader. If anything, it reinforces the fact that Magic is one of the most effective leaders basketball has ever seen.
Well, you know what's worse? It's when you got good players and you don't do crap with it. How about that? How about that? Just saying.
By the start of the 84-85 season,
not even a Magic fan.
Flourished into the
not even a Magic fan.
Team and respectfully taken the torch from Kareem without.
When I say I'm not a Magic fan, I mean, you know, I'm a Celtics fan, so like I gotta hate the Lakers. So.
Out a power struggle. It's one of the only times in NBA history that there was a peaceful transition of power from one player to the next.
Wow.
Pro basketball is like 15th century England in that sense. There are no peaceful transitions of power.
Yeah, I didn't think about
that. The fact that Magic was able to earn the respect and commitment of his teammates,
Kareem to Magic,
of the most historically dominant players ever in Kareem,
to Kobe,
is a testament to Magic's greatness. Beside the departure of Norm Nixon, the Lakers' previous point guard,
look at that shot.
There were no ugly breakups. Cooper, Rambis, Scott, Worthy, and Kareem all retired at one point or another as Lakers. If you won't believe me, listen to the words of Bill Simmons, former ESPN columnist.
But then again, back in the day was different than today, so I don't like that argument sometimes. Like, oh, people are looking for championships, they go in here. Yeah, today it's different. It's different. These guys, you know, players came to play with them. So it's different today, man. It's just different eras. It is what it is, man.
Current CEO of The Ringer and noted Boston sports supporter who grew up rooting against Magic.
Why do they always want to talk to Simmons?
He's the single best leader in the history of the sport. Nobody extracted more from teammates, whether it was an all-star game, a mundane affair in December, or any playoff game. It's also important to note that Magic was ready to win right from the get-go. Like I said earlier, he won Finals MVP as a rookie and finished as the runner-up for regular season MVP in his final full year. Unlike nearly every other player who's ever laced him up, there was never a year where Magic's productivity dropped below his eye-popping, jaw-dropping standards. 12 years of Magic Johnson means 12 years of top-shelf, undeniable, incomparable greatness. Wow. Magic's critics might say that he didn't score enough, that his defense was too suspect to be considered the greatest, or that his play wouldn't translate into the league today. To all of that, I'd argue that one of the best things about basketball is how many different ways there are to win. You can be a 6'3" sharpshooter like Steph Curry and revolutionize the game, a 7'1" behemoth like Shaq who dominates the league, or anything in between.
Now, how is Z not in this conversation sometimes? It blows my mind. And Hucky.
There are so many viable ways to play the game that have all resulted in championships and...
Hold on, man. There's fireworks going off around my house, man. Is it because of Magic? What's going on? All right.
MVPs and the like. Magic's play style allowed him to control the game with a vice grip and tailor it to his specific brand of basketball. What's a player supposed to do when it comes to how the game might evolve in the future? When people talk about the way Magic played, they sometimes talk about it almost like it's a kind of historical casualty. That bewilders me.
Is that
what Magic did worked really well.
Off topic really quick. Is AC Green still a virgin? Huh? I remember when I used to watch basketball when I started. It was like, oh, AC Green, still a virgin. I'm like, wait, what? What does that even mean? I was a kid, but all I heard was AC Green was a virgin. I don't know, man.
Why should he have done anything different? Magic changed the NBA for the better. He was the first positionless player, someone who broke the mold and opened the basketball-watching public's eyes to the possibilities of letting great players do what they're great at, rather than just fulfilling the
can't wait to
traditional
do
roles of their
his,
size or
man.
position. As the game evolves more and more into a positionless sport, Magic's influence and value only become more and more apparent.
Green is trash.
The Showtime Lakers also became one of the first teams to make the game of basketball aesthetic. The speed, athleticism, and skill we all enjoy today is due in part to Showtime and Magic Johnson. In my video about Larry Bird, I gave him a lot of credit for saving the NBA, and deservedly so.
Gotta
Larry
do for
was
Magic.
a pioneer of basketball and contributed immensely to the explosion of the game's popularity. But for every breath of fresh air that Larry contributed, Magic did the same. You can't talk about one without the other because it was the rivalry between the two that really saved the league.
I respect that,
They
Clayton.
competed against each other in such a high-profile game in college, had nearly polar opposite personalities, were of different races, played for the two most historic teams in the country, and met each other multiple
Two
times in
amazing
the finals,
people right
all
there.
cements theirs as the defining rivalry of the NBA.
Yeah.
Despite the differences in their personalities, though, their games were remarkably similar. Team-first, success-oriented mindsets and proclivities for passing were trademark features of both their styles. Those styles met 3 times in the finals, each in legendary fashion.
3 times,
Magic would have the last laugh, though, with 2 championship series wins against Bird.
27-6.
By the time
and 3,
the 1987 finals, their last series against each other, rolled around, Magic had to...
Like, wouldn't you wish? I mean, if you were there, you were there. But like, I'm saying for me, I would wish I can experience these two guys going at it live at the times as it's happening. Just like when I watch LeBron James today or John Moran or something. Shut up. And man, it's just, I think when you watch a game live and watch a player, it's different than watching highlights. Because there's so many things within the game that a lot of people don't see. Just like in football, a lot of people just go, oh, whoa, look, this quarterback just threw a touchdown, 60 yards to a tight end or wide receiver. But you know who don't get the credit? The linemen. They don't get the credit, the block, the shift. Just give the quarterback enough time to get the playoff. Like, so that's how I am when I watch like basketball, football, soccer. Those little things mean a lot to me. Even a pick play, right? Like when the ball's on one side and how is the other guy guarded? Is he cheating off? Like those are the things I look for, like especially in basketball. So the little things mean a lot. And when you watch a live game, it's different than just watching highlights. So it doesn't tell you a whole story. But that's just me. That's just me.
Developed a killer instinct and flair for the dramatic, matched only by his rival. In Game 4 of the series, with the Lakers leading 2-1, Magic all
Is this the hook shot?
The series with the most legendary shot of his career.
Yeah.
Down 1 with seconds left in a raucous Boston Garden, Magic ripped the heart out of every Celtics fan with his baby sky hook.
Magic with a hook shot, scores with 2. And the Celtics trail by 1 with 2 seconds to go.
It was the moment of the '87 finals and the shot of Magic's career. He capped off the most remarkable season of his career by vanquishing his most intense rival for the second time in 3 years. Bill Simmons described how momentous the shot and ensuing championship win was for Magic's legacy. Not even the biggest Celtics fan on the planet could deny it any longer. Magic Johnson was just as exceptional as Larry Bird.
Oh, yeah.
This point is echoed by Bird himself in a clip I'll leave you with. After the game, Bird remarked how impressed he was with Magic's performance and ability as a basketball player. It's only an 11-second clip, but there's a moment in it that just strikes me. There's a split second where you can see the disbelief in Larry's eyes as he tries to come to terms with the fact that the game, and likely the series, is over. In that second, you can almost see him ponder all of the work he put in during the season. All the games he played and the shots he took, all in the hopes of getting a chance to beat his old rival. And then he has to reconcile the fact that that old rival got the better of him, plain and simple. Bird
That shot
wasn't
right
alone
there.
in having to reconcile being beaten by Magic
That
Johnson.
one-footed shot.
Magic still maintains the highest win percentage for a career in NBA history. It's the same thing countless players and coaches had to come to terms with during Earvin Magic Johnson's 12 magical years with the Los Angeles Lakers. Here's
One team.
Bird, summing it all up with a look.
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
Oh, I see that pause that he's talking about right there. Just that.
Unbelievable scene, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
All right. And you know what's funny? A lot of people in the Bird video said to me, hey, did you see what Magic, one of the greatest of all time, said about Bird? He actually went to Boston and gave him a jersey, and he said he's the greatest, right? Doesn't that mean the same thing when Bird just says, man, he's one of the greatest of all time? I will say this, man. Okay, one thing I will say, I wish there was more numbers on how many he averaged for his career, points, rebound, assists. They did show assists was 11. It's the highest percentage, but I don't know how many points he scored for his entire career. But when it came to the 5 championships, I didn't think he won 5. I did not know that. That's a surprising to me. And the 3 regular season MVP was shocking to me. Now, I know Magic was great. I did not know he won 3 regular season MVPs and 3 MVPs in the finals. I did not know those. I thought he won like 3 championships, not 5. This takes the conversation of making the case to another level. So we did Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, now Magic Johnson. I can tell you 1,000% out of those 3, Magic Johnson has moved out of the 3. Magic Johnson has moved for me. But we got to do all 6, and then I'll do my final video where, I give my opinion who I think is the best and where do I rank them. Okay? So yeah, Magic Johnson has moved for me, man. And I didn't know about the 5, 3, and 3. I did not know that. I thought he might have won 3 championships and that was it. MVPs, I didn't think he had any. But that's why you do watch these videos, man. You live, you learn, and yeah, man. I can't wait for the next one, man. I think we should do Russell as the next one because I'm a Boston guy. And the only thing I know about Russell is all the championships. But I think Russell did more for the game outside of the court, I think, because I've read those stories. But also, while he was playing, his numbers don't speak to a lot of people, but it's what he did on the court. It could be on the defensive side. That rebound. It's the stuff that you don't see on stats is what I'm trying to say. So we'll do Bill Russell next, and then we'll go from there, man. Appreciate you guys, man. Keep your head up. Till next time. Peace.